What if I told you a single business deal in Southeast Asia could shake the very foundation of the global electric vehicle industry? Picture this. Indonesia, armed with the world's largest nickel reserves, is quietly rewriting the rules of the EV game, and the world's biggest automakers, including Tesla, are left scrambling to keep up. While most Americans pictured the future of electric vehicles as a race between Silicon Valley and Chinese megafactories, the real battlefield might just be thousands of miles away in the rainforests and industrial zones of Indonesia. Today we dive into how Elon Musk's intricate negotiations with Jakarta could determine who controls not just the next generation of cars, but key technologies and even global power itself. Let's step back. Indonesia, often overlooked in conversations about tech and geopolitics, possesses roughly a quarter of the world's nickel reserves, a metal that's mission-critical for EV batteries. In 2020, the Indonesian government made a bold move. It banned exports of raw nickel ore, upending long-standing supply chains and forcing companies like Tesla, as well as dozens of Chinese conglomerates, to rethink their entire approach to sourcing and manufacturing. Behind the headlines, this was nothing less than an economic chess match. Now, why does this matter for Americans? Nickel is essential for the lithium-ion batteries that power everything from electric vehicles to smartphone grids. With demand set to double in the next decade, anyone controlling nickel and its processing controls a fundamental pillar of green technology. For U.S. automakers, it's not just about where the next Tesla Gigafactory gets built, it's about energy security, jobs, and whether an American transition to clean transport stays viable or falls victim to foreign dependencies. Here's where the plot thickens. While President Joko Widodo's government courted Elon Musk relentlessly, flying to Texas, rolling out red carpets, offering bold visions of an integrated EV supply chain, Tesla hesitated. On the surface, the deal was tantalizing. A $5 billion nickel supply contract, potentially the largest in Tesla's history, with talk of even bigger things to come. But under the hood, there was a snag. Indonesia's mining and processing sectors still lean heavily on coal-powered electricity. For Tesla, a company staking its brand on sustainability, that's a red line. Why build clean cars with dirty batteries? Yet while the American giant paused, Chinese rivals pounced. Leveraging their own Belt and Road ambitions, Chinese firms like Tsingshan poured over $65 billion into Indonesian nickel projects, quickly locking up 3/4 of the country's refining capacity. Unlike their Western counterparts, they showed little hesitation about the environmental costs, valuing low costs and strategic control over ESG optics. As a result, today Beijing essentially commands Indonesia's nickel tap. This means any Western automaker wanting Indonesian nickel might indirectly depend on Chinese goodwill, a scenario that could impact everything from EV prices in the US to military supply chains. But Indonesia's bet goes beyond nickel. The government wants to leap from being a mere raw material exporter to a regional industrial heavyweight, building battery factories, vehicle assembly lines, and, crucially, keeping more wealth and good jobs at home. They've enticed Nike-scale investments from South Korean giants like Hyundai and LG, who in 2024 inaugurated Southeast Asia's first advanced EV battery cell facility in West Java. The potential? To power over 150,000 EVs a year just from this one plant, putting Indonesia on track to become one of the world's top 3 EV battery producers by 2027. There are, of course, trade-offs. The nickel boom has sparked protests from local communities suffering deforestation, pollution, and economic displacement. Headlines about soaring battery exports sit uneasily alongside stories of indigenous youth being jailed for opposing mine expansions. It's a reminder, a new clean industry can carry very real costs, especially when environmental safeguards and workers' rights lag behind investment dollars. Back to Tesla in the US. Musk's pivot in 2024 from EV megafactories to launching Starlink internet in rural Indonesia shows how business and geopolitics often take unpredictable turns. While Starlink brings benefits like telemedicine and rapid connectivity to Indonesia's sprawling archipelago, it's a far cry from the industrial revolution many had hoped for.
Meanwhile, China's influence over Indonesia's industrial trajectory grows, as does its grip on a supply chain vital to America's energy independence. What's at stake isn't just cheaper cars or bigger profits for shareholders. It's a test of whether the U.S. and its allies can secure enough clean materials to fuel an electric revolution without ceding ground to strategic competitors. And for Indonesia, it's a question of whether the country can finally escape the resource trap, becoming more than just a pit stop for global industry.
Looking ahead, scenarios abound. If Indonesia successfully transitions its industry to clean energy, automakers like Tesla might re-enter the fray, drawn by low-cost nickel that doesn't clash with their green branding. If not, China's head start may prove insurmountable, and U.S. companies could find themselves cut out of the world's fastest-growing battery market. All this leaves us with a profound question. Are Americans and the companies they rely on prepared for a world where the critical path to clean transportation runs through countries and companies far beyond their control? And, as Indonesia's nickel-fueled transformation accelerates, what should policymakers, businesses, and regular Americans do to ensure the future of EVs remains both sustainable and secure? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the U.S. can catch up in this new resource race? Or will the future of electric vehicles be decided far from Detroit and Silicon Valley? Let's talk.